Good afternoon, if you are in Eastern Standard Time, and welcome to my live stream. Today, I'm going to do a little bit of an introduction to let people start to come in. Today we're talking about carrying what is not yours, the 3 roles that adult children can fall into after a parent's affair, and how to get out of them. So, as I said, I'm so glad you're here. This is a topic that I think a lot of adult children of a parent's affair experience, but don't often have the words for right away. These roles can feel familiar or even necessary at the time, but the issue is that over time, they can start to feel very restrictive and you can get stuck in them. So that's what we're gonna talk about today. So as I said, we'll walk through the 3 most common roles, which are the secret keeper / truth holder, the emotional caretaker, and the mediator. And I will give you 1 small actionable step that you can take today to start to get out of that role. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Melissa, and I help adult children who are struggling with a parent's infidelity rebuild a healthy relationship with their family. So if you are here live, if you could drop me a like so that I know that you're here, or if you're watching the replay, please just drop replay in the comments so I know that you've been here. And finally, if you know anyone who could benefit from this video, please forward it to them because that's how information like this gets shared. And if you're here or watching this, you probably already know that not enough people talk about the impact of a parent's infidelity on the kids. So let's change that. All right, so let's dive in. So the first role, the secret keeper / truth holder. So what this role can look like. You know what happened, or you know enough to sense the truth. You feel pressure to stay quiet, to keep the peace, or to protect the family image. And you may feel like you're carrying a private burden either because no one else knows or no one else is willing to talk about it. So you also may fear that talking about it would really blow things up in your family. And what makes this so painful is that you can feel so completely alone with the truth. And that's actually what ends up keeping you stuck. You end up isolated with the truth. And the shame and the secrecy and the anger really keep that wound active. Thank you. I just saw the hearts. Thank you so much. Keep the wound active. So what is 1 small step that you can do to get out of this role? So 1 small step is to name the truth for yourself. You can say to yourself, this is a good sentence to use, what happened was real, and I do not have to minimize it. Hi, everyone. I see you coming in. Sorry to interrupt. It's just so exciting to see people coming in. Hi, everyone. So back to my sentence. What happened was real, and I do not have to minimize it. And that sentence really matters, or one like it, because so often people try to talk themselves out of their own reality. They say things like, maybe it wasn't that bad, or maybe I'm overreacting, or maybe I should just move on. And those messages get reinforced in the culture because so many people in the culture will tell you, oh, the affair is between your parents, it's not your problem, you should move on already. And so it's really easy to fall into the trap of not believing yourself. If this resonates with you or it sounds like you, I want to tell you that telling the truth to yourself does not make you dramatic. It makes you honest. So please believe that. And from there, from naming the truth, another small step could be writing the truth down for yourself without censoring it, sharing it with 1 safe, trusted person, or simply to stop pretending within yourself that you're unaffected when you are. So here's what healing can look like when you start to get out of this role. When you stop carrying a secret alone, you start to feel lighter. You start to feel clearer, less ashamed, and less angry. Healing can look like having to not perform being normal anymore in front of your family. It can look like finally having support from people who can handle the truth. So those are all things waiting for you on the other side. If this role resonates with you, please put Secret Keeper in the comment or in the chat, because I know that you're not the only one carrying this quietly. Moving on to number 2, the emotional caretaker. So this is the person who feels responsible for everyone else's feelings, sometimes even everyone else's physical health. You soothe, you stabilize, you protect, you carry the emotional fallout for other people. I see you, Secret Keeper. I was one too. You may become the one that everyone leans on, even when you're hurting. If you've been in this role, you probably know what it feels like to be the strong one who keeps it together, who listens to everyone else's problems. But underneath that, you may be really exhausted. And this role keeps you stuck in this sort of exhausting pattern, over-functioning while everyone else gets protected from their work, while your needs stay on the back burner. And you can become resentful, numb, emotionally drained because you are always holding more than your share. So what's one small step out of this role? Getting more comfortable with other people feeling uncomfortable. So I know this might sound counterintuitive, especially if you've spent your life trying to keep everyone calm. But part of getting out of this role is learning that just because someone is feeling bad is not automatically a bad thing. So one way to start to rethink this is to rethink what you call a negative event or feeling versus what you would call a positive event or feeling. So to do this, here's the exercise. Think of something good that happened in your life. Maybe you met your partner, or you got a job that you loved, or you moved into your dream apartment, or it can be anything smaller too. Now ask yourself, what had to happen first that felt uncomfortable, inconvenient, or even painful in order for that good thing to happen? So for example, perhaps you got your dream job because you were fired from a job that you didn't like. And the process of being fired is really painful and really stressful. And you had to live through all of those feelings in order to get the job that you really loved. So that's some perspective that you can put on negative feelings, that they're often the path that you need to get to something that you really desire. So let's see. Now I've gotten caught up and I've lost my place. Okay, so the small step is really not feeling like you need to fix everyone's feelings, and in order to get there, it helps to become more comfortable with others feeling uncomfortable. And the healing possibilities here are huge, because when you stop managing other people's emotions, you create room for your own peace, your own rest, and your own clarity. And healing can look like fewer crisis conversations, less guilt, and a deeper sense that you are allowed to have a life that is not organized around everyone else's emotions. And I see the comment, I'm sorry, I do not know Russian, unfortunately. So please, if this one hits home, drop caregiver in the chat or in the comments, because I know this one is really hard to unlearn. Okay, moving on to the next and final, the mediator. So I'll be honest, this is the clearest and the most repeated pattern. So of all of the interviews that I did with adult children, this is the one that came up the most, and this is the one that I fell into. Absolutely. So if this is you, go ahead and drop mediator into the chat, because I know that I'm not the only one. So here's what the role looks like. You're the one stuck between family members, particularly your parents. You manage timing, messages, tension, and reactions. You feel like it's your job to keep things from getting worse between people, again, especially your parents. And you're maybe the one translating, smoothing things over, trying to prevent another conflict before it ever happens. And this role keeps you stuck in the middle of conflicts that are not yours to solve. You absorb the stress that belongs to others, and you may delay your own truth, your own needs, or your boundaries to avoid escalation. So what's one small step to get out of this role? So this is a step that you need to forget your family for a minute. And you need to notice where else in your life you play this role. So think about other places in your life where you may step into the middle. It could be at work. It could be at group projects for classes. Again, that was me. It could be with friends. At times, are there times where you organize other people's relationships? Are you the translator between, say, your boss and your coworker? Are you the one who steps in because no one else will? Or you're afraid no one else will? Or do you step in because you know that you can, and so you feel that you should? Start noticing these patterns with other people outside of your family, and then choose one situation to step out of that role in a small way. And here's why, because it's easier to practice with other people before you start practicing with your family, where the stakes feel so much higher. And the healing possibilities here, again, from personal experience, I can tell you are powerful, because when you step out of the middle, you can start breathing again. Healing can look like less pressure, fewer emotional emergencies, and more freedom to make choices based on what's healthy for you, rather than, again, making everyone else comfortable. So that is what I have for you. That's not true. I have one more thing for you in closing. If you've been the secret keeper, the emotional caretaker, or the mediator, or honestly, some combination of all three, because realistically, often adult children coping with a parent's affair do fall into all three in one way or another. But if you take nothing else from this little video, please take this. Each of these roles is just that. It's a role. It's not your identity. Your identity is so much bigger than that. These roles are or can be survival strategies or coping mechanisms, and they can be released. So please know that. You don't have to keep carrying what was really never yours to carry in the first place. So if this video resonated with you or helped you see these patterns a little bit more clearly, I'd love to invite you to take the next step. If you are looking for some help, if you're tired of doing this alone, because I know it can be a really lonely journey, I would love to invite you to book a free consultation with me. We can talk about what's happening in your family, the roles you've been carrying, and whether or not the program that I'm starting might be the right fit for you or not. I'd be happy to hear your story. The link is in the description box below. So I see one question coming in. Let me see if I can take that. If anyone else has any questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat. Yeah, I hear you. It's really sad how common adultery is. And yes, I am so sick of people telling me that I have no right to go no contact or on my dad because of what he did to my mom and because my mom and dad have made up. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you in all that. I'm sorry for your experience. All right. Well, if there are no other questions, I'm going to wish you all a lovely day. And thank you for joining me today. Have a great day.